Hello, my love. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so we are going to be doing a mid-year book tag because I've seen people do this and I'm so excited to do this because I also want to do this. And I got my questions from Larry. I feel like we all know Larry. If you do not know Larry, you are not part of BookTube or Bookstagram or BookTok because Larry is mother. So let's start our mid-year book tag. And one, the best book you've read so far. Oh my god, now the thing is, I don't think I can have one answer for all these questions. First of all, we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I keep thinking that I read that book last year, but I read it this year. This year I got into thrillers, and that was the book that got me into thrillers. And oh my god, that was one of the best ever books. I love the writing style. It really puts you in that, you feel like you're in the book, you're in that situation, you're in that scene with the character. I love that. I also love the whole the plot twist in The Only One Left was so twisty. You could not see that coming. So the other book is A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. That was a sequel to A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, one of the best books ever. And the second book was more mature in the writing style. It was not as cringe, so to say, as the first book. And I love Tilly Cole. Although I've only read two of her books, I love Tilly Cole because she again puts you in that situation with the character, and she makes you feel those emotions. I cried, I sobbed, I was throwing up reading this book. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. I cried. I really, really cried. I sobbed. I was in the middle of the night, and I read it at night, actually. I binged it in the middle of the night. Most of the really good books that I read in my life are read randomly in the middle of the night. Another book that is part of the best books that I've read is Vera Wang's Unsolicited Opinion for Murderers. That's my favorite because it's the first cozy mystery book that I've read. And it was so cute. It was so sweet. It was so interesting. I also binged that one. Not in the middle of the night, but I binged it for a whole day. I was home alone. I was like, what the heck? I binged it. It was so good. It was so good. And so the next question is, worst book I've read so far? It's Seduced by a Stranger by Brenda Jackson. I don't finish a book. If I hate a book, I do not read it. So I DNF'd it, but I know for a fact that it's one of the worst books I have ever read in my life. So Seduced by a Stranger by Brenda Jackson had terrible writing, terrible characters. Not any aspect of that book. It was horrible, terrible. No. I've not read any other book by Brenda Jackson though, so I'm not really sure if it was just that book or all her books are like that. But I thought the man was very misogynistic and very controlling and a useless species of a man. So other book that goes here that I know people will probably hate me for is Picking Daisies on Sundays. But that one had really good writing. Honestly. Yeah, the only issue I had that one is the characters. I hated the characters. No, I hated one character. The main female character, whose name I do not remember, because she was very obnoxious, cringy, and had no dignity. I feel like I've spoken about this again. So if I start talking about it again, it'll take me forever because I did not like that character at all. I also do not like the guy at all. The next one is best sequel you've read so far. A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole, which is a sequel to A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. Amazing book. Amazing book. I personally think the writing gets better. I already said that. The writing gets better. I personally feel like the second book had more character development than the first book. I read the first book a long time ago, so I don't really remember as much. But I do remember the premise, low-key, and I do remember some scenes. So, yeah. Those two of my favorite books ever, and I would recommend them to anybody who will listen. And then worst sequel so far, I have three. No, actually I have two. So one is The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I don't know what it's a sequel for, but I know it's a second book. I think the first one is Say You'll Remember Me, but I don't remember, so I don't know how this one is a sequel to it. I don't even remember if there are any characters that are from the first book. I do not know, but I do not like the book. And then the other one is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. That one, I personally think the writing from the first one to the second one shifted. The second one became not as good. I thought it had a lot of filler. It really didn't get to the point, and it did not make us feel for the characters as much as the first one did. And so I did not like the sequel. On my list, I have added Unravel Me, but Unravel Me is only because of the writing style and the character Juliet. I think Juliet has this woe unto me mentality, the oh, pity me, pity me, pity me thing. That's why I don't like her. And the writing style is all because I don't like there's so much description going on. I'm like, get to the point, Tahira, get to the point. So that is why I don't like the writing. Further explanation is in the other vlog. I personally feel like the writing and the epitome energy worked in the first book, Shatter Me, because like in the situation that she was in, yes. But now in the second book, she realizes her potential. She realizes like there's more to her than just the fact that she's a monster, quote unquote, and she also like realizes that she's not the only one who's like this. She's not the only one who has lived life like this. So I kind of figured that the pity me thing would end. It did not. There are a lot of other like things about that book that were so good. Those are the only two issues I had with it. So I don't really know if it should stay there, but whatever. The next question is a new release I haven't read, but I want to. I have 3 new releases. So one is Core by Kennedy Ryan. That is the second book after Real by Kennedy Ryan. I loved Real by Kennedy Ryan, and I loved it even more because of where I was when I was reading it. So it was a really good book. And then second book is A Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune, and I want to really read that one because everybody and the mom is talking about that book. So I need to read that book. I need to know why everybody's I'm experiencing FOMO. I need to know why everybody is so in love with that book. And that one is The Shippers by Catherine Center. I've only read 2 books by Catherine Center, and I think both of them are more audiobooks, and I really loved it. My favorite was The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. So I'm really excited to read The Shippers. I do not know what it's about at all, but I loved Catherine Center's writing. She's impeccable, so I really loved it. So I think I'm going to really enjoy The Shippers. Next question is biggest surprise. So a book that I did not think would be good, but was like, ooh, a book that exceeded my expectation, basically. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonam-Young. I don't have any expectations for that one, but it was so good. I don't know how many stars I gave it, but it was a really good book. And then When Life Gives You Mangoes by, I don't know who it's by, I don't remember who it's by. That's a middle grade book, and it was so good, especially the ending. The ending is what surprised me. I actually hated that book. Like at first, I did not hate the book. I hated the best friend of the main character. And then the end just broke my heart, and I cried. Oh, and I cried. I really cried at the end of that book. And I had come home from school, I remember, and I was just finishing it up, and I was sat on my bed, and I sobbed. Like the end of that book really broke my heart. But that was one of the best surprises that I read this year. The next one is Shatter Me by Taira Mafi. I am one of those people who think that if a book is hyped up too much, I probably will not like it as much. Shatter Me series is very, very talked about, so I did not think it would be good. But I picked it up one random night because I saw the audiobook on Spotify. I was like, what the heck? And I actually really, really enjoy it. It's not a god tier series, unfortunately. It's like a 3-star. If I was to rate the whole series, like up to where I'm at, it's a 3 stars for like all of them. So it's not like a literary masterpiece. I've read Blood Over Haven by Emil Wang, and that is a fantasy. So I kind of low-key expected that all fantasy will give that energy, but these ones, they do not. I don't like the writing style, and it doesn't give I don't know, it just doesn't give this new world the way I thought it would. I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't give the vibes, like the energy that I thought it would give me. So it's not really like my favorite series. I'll read more fantasy novels and I'll decide, because if this is how the whole genre is, I'm sorry, it is not meant for me. But if the whole genre kind of low-key goes with the way Blood Over Haven was, like Blood Over Haven built the world for me, like it explained the world. I felt like I was in there. I could see the city as I was reading the book. So I feel like it could be that the writing is not as good as other people make it seem to be, or because I listened to the audiobook, like it did not really process. I'm not in there. It hasn't processed completely. That's I do not love the series, but it's a very entertaining series. But it was a surprise because I thought I would not really like it at all, but I do like it, and I do love premise. So I'm really excited to keep reading this series. And the last one is I Hope This Doesn't Find You by An Liang. I thought it would give because are they college students or are they high school students? I don't remember. I think the high school students. I really thought it would be very cringy and very, I don't know, high school, like Wattpad coded. I don't know. I really did not think it would be the way it turned out to be. It was really good. The writing was really good. And yeah, basically, it was really good. It was just, it's not what I expected it to turn out to be. It was far much better. Next question is my favorite new author. The new to me author is Phoebe Wine, who wrote Madame. Oh my god. One of the best books that I don't know why it's not part of the best books that I've read, because it should be. Madame by Phoebe Wine was such a good book. The writing style was impeccable. It had me in the book. I feel like that's a theme for me. I need to be in the book. I don't need crazy description, but I need to feel like I'm with the characters. So that was done so well in Madame by Phoebe Wine. I really, really loved that one. Newest fictional crush. I have two. One is Ira King from On Merit Alone. Honestly, I feel like if I really sat down and really went through all these books, he would not be the first one. But because I read that book a couple days ago and it's really fresh, it's still fresh in my mind, I really love Ira King. Oh my god. Oh my god. The way they described him. So first of all, his physical being. And then his traits, his values, his characteristics. He was so deep. I love Ira King. Oh my god. Also, I now remember Rome in Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. Yes, 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 yes. I love Yarning, Down Bad, He Falls First. And those two, they do it for me. Oh my god. Rome was so funny. He was funny. He was not just broody and dark and mysterious. Rome was funny. That's why I love Rome. Ira was like, let me handle this. He gave me let me handle this energy, and that's why I really loved Ira King. And then my other fictional crush is Kenji Kishimoto from the Shatter Me series, because he is such a funny person. And then when I read Unravel Me and I realized that he has depth to his character, ooh, I'm sad. The next question is a new favorite fictional character. I have two. Vera Wong, because Vera Wong was so sweet, annoying, but so sweet, and like she was such a good character to follow, like hilarious in that like cute way. I really enjoyed reading Vera Wong. And the other one is Savannah from A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. I love her character development, and I loved how really related to her, how despite what had happened to her, and despite the grief that she was going through and the way her life had become, the way it was just like the four walls and in her head, she still was nice and sweet and kind to every other character in the book. So I really like that, which also reminds me, I also like Juliet from the Shatami series. Even though I hate her, I still like her because she's a good person despite everything she's gone through. The only reason I don't like Juliet is how she treats herself. She does not put herself in a pedestal that she puts everybody else on. I mean, when I think about my favorite character, I think about a person who I read that made me want to be a better person. That makes me want to be a better person. Next question is a book that made you cry. A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. I was sobbing. That is the only book I remember vividly in my mind, sobbing reading it. So, A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. And then a book that made you happy. A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke by, I don't know, it's by, and I love that one because it was hilarious. And I don't remember exactly. I think the guy fell first. He was like, I want you, and I have to have you. And I was like, ah, yes, sir, period. But the girl was very fierce and very feisty, and she stood for what she wanted, and she had her goals and she had her purpose, and that was amazing. So I really loved A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke. It was giggly and laughy the whole time. So I really enjoyed that one. And then the next one is books that challenged my usual thinking, that made me really sit down and be like, oh, wow. Oh wow. So that one is Jezebel by Megan Baynard. I loved that book. And the next one is Second Chance by Jane Green, which I have a physical copy of. And it was one of my favorite books because it really made me think about relationships and a marriage. Oof, that was a really good book. Not just like romantic relationships, but also friendships. It was a really, really good book. I would really recommend that book. And then the next question is most beautiful physical book that I own, that I got this year. I have two. This one I got it only because of the cover. This one, it is a middle grade book. It's Starfill. I love the colors. I really love the colors, and I love like how I don't know, I really like the colors, okay? I really like shiny, vibrant things. And A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. You can't really see it, but I love this book, and I especially love the cherry blossoms on this. And that is a reason why before I die, I must go to Japan during spring and I must see real cherry blossoms. So this book has made me fall in love with cherry blossoms and the color pink. So one of my favorite covers. And this, I mean, aside from the fact that this is not a really original book and it's a printed book, it still has a really pretty cover. So I really love the cover. Books you need to read by the end of the year. I have a lot, but let me start by saying that I'm aiming to read a lot of series this year. So most of the books that I want to read are part of series. So first I have the Brown Sister series, and then the Boys of Torment series. I got them already. I have all the books in the Boys of Torment series, and I want to read them. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I like it, because so far from what I've heard, they are Wattpad coded. Like, you remember reading like a long time ago, those were like the girl is living with like an abusive father or something, and then she goes to school, and then this guy that finally notices her and finds out that she's really going through like a lot at home and saves her. Same thing. So Boys of Torment, and then The Naturals. Why? I have no idea, but I really want to read The Naturals. And then Fourth Wing, because I don't think I've learned my lesson with Shatter Me, and I want to read another popular book series. So Fourth Wing, which I've had for a very long time. The ebook, I just haven't gotten myself to read it, but I really hope that I read it before the end of this year. We have 6 months. We'll see. And then the last question is my most anticipated release. I do not sit around and follow all the authors that I like and wait for them to release a book. So I didn't really know. I had to do a lot of research on this one. But the only one that I decided to put as my most anticipated release is The Unknown by Riley Sager, because, well, it's Riley Sager. So that is my media book tag. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you found books that you like, and tell me if I'm getting better at reviewing books and talking about books. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. You could also comment your answers to these questions, which I will also put down the link in the description, just in case you want to do your own media book tag. I would love to see other people's responses to these questions. And yes, yeah. Bye.